Welcome back to Webcertain TV. I'm Gemma Houghton, and today I'm joined by Omi Sido, who's the Global Technical SEO Manager at the Daily Mail. And we're going to talk about managing SEO on such a large, complex website. So, hi Omi, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me here, guys.
So, clearly the Daily Mail has a lot of content and a lot of new content coming onto the site regularly, daily, hourly. So, what are the main technical SEO challenges of handling a site like that?
You're right. Daily Mail is quite a busy website. In fact, it's the busiest news website in the world. So every day we handle a lot of news stories. The main challenge is, let me start with the positive first of large websites. We've got a lot of links pointing at us.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of content produced every single day, every single minute, in fact. But there are some negatives of large websites. And the first one, from my experience, and I'm not talking only about Daily Mail, I'm talking about large websites in general. The first one will be the technology used. Many large websites are using different technologies, for example, PHP and ASP.NET. As we all know, the PHP developers, they don't like writing ASP.NET code. So being a technical SEO for large websites means you have to be familiar with every technology available out there.
Yeah.
The second one, and what I normally tell people is like the bigger the website, the older the CMS.
Yeah.
For example, let me give you an example. Daily Mail is a good example, but also Tesco. Tesco's website has been out there for 20 years.
Yeah.
20 years ago, there were no digital marketing, nobody was talking about SEO. So basically, we can't even call their technology CMS. Yes. For every single change you have to do, you have to go to the developer and basically explain what you need done.
Yeah, that's not fun, is it?
No, not fun at all. So you can imagine what's happening when you've got a lot of 404 coming in Google Analytics or Omniture. Then you have to literally go every time to the developer and explain your requirement.
Yeah.
And the third most challenging, and it's not even technical, normally with large websites, there are a lot of parties involved. So every time you need to something doing, it has to be return on investment justified.
Yeah.
Even if it's the smallest SEO amendment, like page title or meta description. The way we get around is always telling people stories, the importance of new developments. One of them is AMP, as everybody knows.
Yeah.
It took us quite a while to convince the big guy that we need this development, and then we had to justify it somehow. And we always have to connect it basically to the business.
Yeah, and that's often a challenge for a lot of SEOs in big
yes,
enterprise organizations. It's
when
making people understand the importance of SEO.
Yes, basically yes.
Yeah.
Especially technical SEO.
Yeah.
Content SEO is easier to explain.
Yeah.
Because it's something that we all know.
Yeah.
Updating of page titles or amending keyword research.
Yeah.
But when it comes to something technical like 404 pages or dead links, then we've got a big challenge.
Big challenge, absolutely. And I wanted to ask you about AMP pages because I think, they are something that's been talked about a lot. We've heard people at Google say they're something that businesses really should be paying attention to. So how easy is it to implement them? What are the, do you have any tips you could share for kind of implementing them quickly and effectively?
Yes, of course. AMP, the AMP project, Google's AMP project is getting quite a lot of track recently. This is because they basically want to improve the mobile experience of people.
Yeah.
Many businesses don't get it, and they think that it's only for news websites like Daily Mail.
Yeah.
This is true. We benefited a lot from the implementing AMP. But recently, eBay also introduced AMP pages. So implementing them is actually very, very easy. It's the simplest of HTML.
Yeah.
It's that easy. The problem is, how do you justify to your business that you need them? I'll give you an example. When the AMP project was released by Google, many news websites were thinking, yeah, good idea. Our page is going to be quicker, easily accessible. But then, what's happening with advertising? The money, the business needs to make money. The business needs revenue, not just quick pages.
Yeah.
And this is where the clash comes between AMP pages and normal mobile development. Quick tips. One thing that you should always think about when implementing AMP pages is that Google is very strict with the code. Even something that you think that is not that important, like outdated tags, will exclude your page straight away from the AMP, let's call them SERPs.
Yeah.
In our case, is the AMP slider on a mobile.
Yeah.
So basically, every time you develop your AMP pages, you have to either use the Chrome extension or the Google. You have to go to Google and make sure that
validate them and make sure
validate the code.
Okay, so that's definitely a useful tip to have. Obviously, something else that I think is quite key for news sites, you've got a lot of content. You're going to have people and things that are referenced regularly in the news. And of course, people want to find when they're searching, want to find the most up-to-date news on those people. So how do you kind of make sure that you manage the content so that you're showing more relevant results to your users?
When it comes to news sites, the best thing a news website can do is include the website in Google News.
Yeah.
So then the website will always come in the news slider on top of the SERPs. But the problem with creating a lot of content around the same topic is that then you have a lot of pages who are with keywords who are competing for the same keywords in the SERPs. So what we introduced last year, Daily Mail and Guardian and Mirror, is the so-called hub pages or topic pages.
Okay.
So when you've got a lot of pages with talking about the same subject, we're going to create a single page and we're going to link all the articles to this page. On top of that, all those articles will be displayed on this page, and this is how we basically
aggregate, I guess, all the stories.
Aggregate the stories on one page, and then this page will definitely rank well.
Yeah, and then people also, when they get there, I guess, can pick the story that is most relevant to them.
If it's something recent, they'll obviously find it in the news slider.
Yeah.
If it's something older, they'll find it in the topic page.
And what about Schema? Because that's something that is also talked about a lot in SEO. It's something that's been around a long time, but kind of doesn't have the same buzz around it, I guess, as things like AMP or other things. But how important is that to be using, and how does that fit with news sites?
Schema, this very big subject, really, a lot more bigger than AMP implementation.
Yeah.
The thing about Schema is that, as Google said recently, sooner or later Schema will go into the Google algorithm.
Yeah.
So basically, implementing Schema, you're bulletproofing your SEO for the future.
Yeah.
Another benefit is that when you implement Schema, Google can actually understand your website.
Yeah.
So your website first can appear as a direct answer, which everybody knows boosts the traffic.
Yeah.
Or it can go into the Google Knowledge Graph, which again helps Google understand your website better. There are different schemas. I would advise people to go for JSON LD.
Yep.
And also there's different schemas on different topics. Like in our case, this is news. News helps Google understand that we are a news website, so we can get a boost in when people are looking for news. Mm-hmm. And also it helps us with AMP pages, because this is a kind of a requirement in order to appear in the AMP slider mobile. on mobile.
Yeah. So like so many of these things, they all really fit together, and the more you do, the better overall
Yes,
success you're likely to have.
Exactly. The schema subject is a big subject. It's connected to RankBrain.
Yeah.
It's connected to ranking. It's connected to Google Knowledge Graph.
Yeah.
So
and
I
all
guess
those things are going to be important in the future.
In future talks, we can discuss it.
Yeah, go into more detail on those.
Because if you go into detail, then we're going to need a whole day.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah, we're not ready for that today. And then I also want to ask you about geo targeting, because, like you said, it's not just the UK, the Daily Mail targets, it's got content for the US, other markets as well. So how do you manage the geo targeting side of things to ensure that, you've got the relevant content, for that market to play in the SERPs?
Yeah, as I said earlier, I work for Daily Mail. So for news websites, it's easy. Basically, we've got different news for different locations, coming from different locations, and we're just going to make sure that they're displayed on the geo-targeting pages.
Yeah.
But in general, when we talk about content and geo-targeting, what I always tell people is like geo-targeting content, targeting modified content helps you acquire a lot of local customers. Because if I'm in France and I'm looking for pizza, it's not the same if I'm in London and I'm looking for pizza. It's the same with news when it comes to Daily Mail.
You want something relevant to where you are.
Yes, people in Australia, because we're basically only targeting English-speaking countries like Australia and USA, people in Australia, they only want to read Australian news.
Yeah, they don't want to read about English soaps because they don't know what they are.
Of course, they don't know our stars, they don't know British politicians.
Yeah. And how much content, though, does overlap? Because obviously, there's a lot of US stars that we will know in the UK that Australians will use. So how do you manage that? Because there will be people in the UK searching for, Donald Trump, searching for Kim Kardashian, unfortunately, these people that you have content for. How do you kind of bridge it? Is the content that's shown on all sites, or is it all separately?
Exactly. Unfortunately, this one has to be done manually. We cannot automate it in any way. The journalist will basically decide whether an article, story, topic is good for both countries or not.
Yeah.
So basically, it's a manual process, unfortunately.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And you talked before about Schema and that being something that's going to come into play more in the future. And there's always we always kind of need to look ahead for what's coming and kind of future proof, like you said. So what do you think is kind of the next things to be thinking about with SEO? What are the things SEO should be putting in place to kind of predict what Google and other search engines might be about to do?
Yeah, I get it. When it comes to future SEO, people, and because I'm coming from a technical background, people have to understand that making sure that your website is technically sound is your first priority.
Yeah.
Many people think only about content, and this is basically wrong.
Yeah.
Because having a good content is good, but having a lot of redirections to your one, having a lot of four pages is actually bad.
Yeah.
Not implementing schema is bad, and this is also technical SEO.
Yeah.
Not making sure that your page titles are dynamically optimized. It's a main priority.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how good your content is if the rest isn't working.
If the case is not, if the way I say it, people normally say content is king. Mm-hmm. But I always tell people, kings, they live in castles. Mm-hmm. So first you have to build the castle, and then you're gonna put the king there.
Oh, I like that. You hear content is king all the time. I've never heard that one. That's great.
Well, there's a big fight in a way between content SEO and technical SEO.
Yeah, but really they are, they're all part of the same thing.
They always work together.
It's the same with other digital channels as well, I guess.
Of course.
It's all, you're all ultimately going to the same goal, which is get people interested in your content, get people coming to your website and
converting.
Converting, yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you very much for talking to us today. Really great to speak to you.
Thank you.